Hey people, I'm Katie of Nature. In this video, I want to talk about a kind of heavy topic, which is microplastic. So microplastics have become part of our bodies. And when I think of microplastic, the first thing that comes to my mind is those little detergent pods that are really quick and convenient to use. You just toss them in your dishwasher, toss them in the washing machine, and they break down and the detergent's already in there and they wash your clothes. But I learned a few years ago, because I used to use them myself for the dishwasher, that when they dissolve, that they just get into our water supply, which, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. They don't magically disappear, but you kind of don't think about it because they do disappear, but they leach into the water supply, which then you're drinking it, you're bathing in it, it gets into the rivers, gets into the oceans. So they're just a really nasty product, and we should all be eliminating them just to start. But microplastic really is so much more than that, because any plastic that breaks down can get into the atmosphere, can get into the water, gets into the land, and these things get in our bodies. Our bodies are full of this crap. Plastic should not be in our bodies, but there it is, because again, we're drinking it. So we're drinking it, we're eating it, we are breathing it. Any plastic that as it starts to break down, things can get into the air. Even our clothing fibers, if they're synthetic fibers, they can get into the water supply as we wash them. They might even absorb through our skin. I'm not really sure about that. I didn't really look into that. But as they shed, they can get into the atmosphere. So there's many ways we could be breathing them in and they get into the atmosphere. I even read that as sea foam and sea bubbles come to the surface, plastic in the ocean gets into the atmosphere, and it's so small and we're just breathing it in, and it's affecting everything. It's affecting nature, it's affecting the birds, it's affecting the fish. It's so important to keep the plastic out of the ocean. These creatures are either mistaking it for food, or it's just become part of their environment. This dissolved plastic is part of their environment. And then if we're eating these aquatic creatures, guess what? It's part of us too. So it's becoming part of us through other ways, as we drink, as we breathe, because we've done so much damage with all this plastic. But I just want to emphasize, cutting down where you can. It's also apparently in your cosmetics, or some cosmetics, microbeads, whatever microbeads are, they're in some cosmetics. They've been banned in several states, but not banned in enough. So evidently, that's a pretty significant thing. You're putting this, your skin is very absorbent. You're putting this stuff on your skin. So you want to try to be aware of what you're putting on your face or your body. So there's so many ways that this stuff is getting into our bodies. And I'm going to make another video where I talk about what the health effects can be. I don't want to, run for like 10 minutes on this one. But just be aware that it's so important to reduce plastic, to use substitutes like the bags I've talked about, like the cornstarch bags, the plant-based bags that break down, and just eliminating wherever you can. Please watch my other videos for tips and suggestions on cutting down on plastic, which then can become microplastic, so which is an even bigger problem. So thanks for listening. Do your part. I'm gonna do mine.